Inflation figures came out today, and they were worse than expected. Consumer price index at 10.1%, but underlying that, 19.1% inflation in food and drink, and 26% in housing, water and energy bills. Now, this has been blamed on all sorts of things. Some people who hate Brexit always blame everything on Brexit. But really, the issue isn't Brexit, it's central banking, because 12 countries that are still in the EU have higher inflation, including Austria, which is famous for providing Austrian economists who are pretty conservative types. But the central banks and their relentless quantitative easing, as well as their slovenliness, their slowness, their torpor in increasing interest rates, has led to high inflation across the globe. But at the Bank of England, it does seem to be particularly unsatisfactory, not least because they haven't recognised the problem that they themselves have created. There's £895 billion of quantitative easing in the system. And although it was absolutely right to do it in 2008, it was absolutely essential to save the economy at that point, no effort was made to reduce it when the economy was going well in the mid-20-teens, and the further quantitative easing around COVID ended up being excessive, and the bank doesn't see where the problem comes from. And this is fundamental. The governor of the Bank of England, very distinguished, important figure, who used to be able to run the city with a raised eyebrow, has blamed everything other than QE. He's blamed pay rises to early retirement. And one of their policymakers, Silvana Tenreo, has suggested that inflation wasn't caused by quantitative easing in the first place. But if you produce lots of free money, of course that's inflationary, because money must find a home, and the home it finds is in higher prices. And the bank seems to suffer very badly from groupthink. It doesn't appoint people who challenge this orthodoxy. So Megan Green, the latest appointee, takes all the normal views of central bankers rather than recognising the reality of the problem. And that is that QE went too far, and the bank was slow to raise interest rates. Now, that's not that there aren't other problems as well. I argued in the House of Commons yesterday that corporation tax has an effect on prices as companies seek to achieve their net margin, not their gross margin, and they put price up to compensate. The Competition and Markets Authority seems to do nothing about high diesel prices, even though the wholesale price is down. Planning means that we have a very expensive set of buildings in this country, and our failure to get supply-side reforms and to push through the retained EU law bill is also problematic. But actually, the fundamental problem is with the Bank of England, and you cannot find the solution until you understand the problem, and the bank deliberately seems to ignore the problem. As always, I want to know what you at home think. Please get in touch. Email me at mailmog@gbnews.uk.